Oh shit. Here we go again.
I just think both people in this situation could have done better.
Yeah.
Tyreek could have done a lot better. You know, if he just would have complied and listened and stayed calm instead of having this air of entitlement. And yeah, I mean, it was, football Sunday. He
Yeah.
wasn't going into work. But at the same time, you're not above the law.
Yeah.
I mean, if he would have stayed calm and listened to the cops, he probably would have got a ticket and been on his way, and there wouldn't have been this big, dramatic, escapade of with everybody weighing in. And then at the same time, the cops they have to be better at not escalating. And they have to. It's just like I said. I mean, it could have been better on both sides. They were both in the wrong. I don't think either side was right. And like I said, two wrongs don't make a right. I'm not condemning either side, but I'm not going to say either side was right either in this situation.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to yet another episode of Real Conversations with Cozy and Murph. Back after week 1, rolling into week 2 of NFL football. Finally returning, thankfully. It was beautiful to spend time last weekend just engulfed into television and highlights and just watching scores and fantasy football. It kind of felt like it's like coming out of hibernation almost. It's like I'm alive.
Yeah, feels great. It's like that itch that you've had for 6 months that you just couldn't get, and now finally, you can scratch it, and it feels so good just to get back into it. And like, I feel like college football is kind of like a teaser or kind of like an appetizer, and then the NFL is like the big boys. It's showtime, prime time. Like that's what we want to watch is the professionals. So yeah, week 1, it was awesome. I'm glad football is totally 100% back now, and we can just finally ride the season out and see what happens.
Thankful for football returning. Gives us something to look forward to each week. Like you said, yeah, it's definitely like a itch you can't scratch until
no other sport compares, man.
Yeah.
No other sport compares to prime time football.
Yeah. It's like, even if it's not even your team playing, like you said, college football is like an appetizer. Like if Ohio State's not playing a big game, I'm likely not going to like be as eyes glued onto it. But if there is an NFL game on, I'm probably going to be locked onto it. It's like, I can't look away. It's like something crazy might happen. I don't know. These are the best of the best. That's what I was explaining that to Kayla the other day. It was like, it's a different beast. And it's like, and this is going to ramble into another conversation. It's like, this is probably why, like, when the NFL starts, the international stage could probably not successfully have a team that or a league that could compete with what the NFL is, because it's like a brutal killer sport almost, in a sense. And it's like, I don't know that internationally that would be able to live up to the best of the best athletes going out and strapping pads on and putting it to them.
What do you mean? Like if the NFL put a team overseas or like in another country?
Like we were talking about in the car, is like, if maybe somebody doesn't go international, but instead they do like like the XFL, but it's overseas. It's like it wouldn't fly, I feel like, with international countries. Like a how do you can't. I think it was more so like a developmental league for the NFL. It's like it can't happen in that sense because it's so brutal, and it's like the NFL is leaps and bounds away from what even the college standard is. Like the
Yeah.
minor leagues in baseball. You know what I'm saying? They can get players from Japan and bring them over straight into the MLB. You're not doing that anywhere else in the world for the NFL. You know what I'm saying? Maybe an Australian punter or like a one-off rugby guy, but
Yeah,
that's it.
but like you said, no other sport really compares
Yeah,
as even comparable to that level of physicality and athleticism. So I mean, yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying. It is like it's unique in that way.
yeah. It's a different beast in and of itself.
And really, to be like a top tier football player, you got to be a psychopath. You know, like you got to be literally devoted to your craft, mind, body, and soul, 24/7, all the time. Like you got to be thinking about it. Like if you look at all the greats, like Brady, Manning, you know, any of the Ray Lewis, you know, Brian, or any of them on either side of the ball, they live, breathe, and eat football, and that's it. And so
behind their eyes, they're certified killers too. Like
yeah, they're just crazy people, you know, like. So it is a spectacle whenever you get to see the top of the top, tippity top of the top football players go out and compete day in and day out.
I'm glad that football's back, man. It's been long awaited. Like I said, we're happy it's here. Different style this year with football. I know last year we would do recap every game and then go through and pick every game. We're going to give you guys something new this year, something different, something I feel like, Murph brought this up. It's probably more digestible because we would ramble on like the Panthers last year for what, we know what it is. So if anything, let's look back NFL Week 1. We can roll in. We're going to talk a little bit of the Tua situation. Might touch on the Tyreek Hill. I don't know. I think everything might be done and said about everything in that situation. And we're going to give you guys some bets. Best bet, a touchdown parlay between the two of us. And I think we'll just roll with that. I think it'll be easier for us both to kind of keep tracks on, and it gives us something to dive into. All right. Week 1, NFL came and went. I feel like big winners, big losers, probably a good conversation. Chiefs Ravens game. I feel like that was a great way to start off the NFL season. Isaiah Likely, just an inch too big on the toe.
Yeah, I feel like that was like a breakout game for him. He's been a pretty good, nice backup, you know, the last year. Last year he was good, but I mean, coming out and putting up 9 receptions, 111 yards, and a touchdown, and then being like you said, literally like this far from the game time touchdown. He's going to be a weapon this year for Lamar. I feel like, and that's not to say Mark Andrews isn't going to be a weapon as well. It's nice to see other guys being able to step up. Lamar, 16 carries, 122 yards. That was incredible. But the Chiefs, I mean, they just look like they just reloaded and they're ready to go again. I mean, it was a good close game, but the Chiefs were in control. They were in control of that game pretty much from start to finish, and it never felt like they were, uh, challenged really in any way. It felt like the Ravens were kind of playing catch up the entire game. So nice way to start the season. Chiefs, I mean, they're going to be a favorite in pretty much every game this season.
Yeah.
I think the Ravens will bounce back this coming up week, and I feel like they'll probably be a contender for their division. So yeah, I mean, great game to start off the year.
What do you think of Xavier Worthy? I mean, perfect fit right there.
He looked,
Kansas City.
I mean, that's like Andy Reid's wet dream. That type of player is like, you give him a weapon like that, he's going to find six ways to Sunday to fucking use him. You know, I mean, he's going to draw something up to where he's going to be effective.
Yeah.
I feel like he is a little bit light in the britches. He's going to have to put on a little bit of muscle, a little bit of weight. But that'll come, with maturity and with being in the league, for an extended period of time. But 2 touchdowns in his debut looked great. I feel like like I said, he's going to be a great weapon for Mahomes and Andy Reid in that offense. And they didn't really miss a step.
No.
Mahomes looked crisp. He did have one bad interception, but I mean,
First game of the year. You know what I'm saying?
And that's the thing about Mahomes is he's going to throw picks, but it's never like like terrible picks. It was like I can see what you were thinking, and why you threw the ball there. It's just something for whatever reason it was inaccurate, but yeah, great game. What'd you think about Eagles Packers and Sao Paulo? I thought it was pretty entertaining to be honest.
It was that's the right word. Entertaining football game. It wasn't pretty on either side. It wasn't pretty. The field wasn't pretty. The whole setup wasn't pretty. And like I had to taper and kind of like adjust my mindset for this game because it's like, one, they're never going back there. 2, the field's ass. And like this is just a weird game, being on a plane for 10 plus hours.
Yeah.
And like
playing on a Friday night.
That's what I'm saying. It's like this is a whole the fact that we won that game, fantastic. You know what I'm saying? I feel bad for Jordan Love happening, that late in the game. And Jordan Love looked a little shaky, but like I said, it's a weird game. It was a weird game for both the teams. The bright shining spot of the whole thing was Saquon. Looked like he fit right into kind of what we're doing. I think Saquon could put himself in position to win. He'll probably be top 3 offensive player of the year.
He'll be in discussion. It feels like he is the McCaffrey-esque, or like a equal to McCaffrey, even though McCaffrey isn't healthy yet, and now it's likely that he's going to be put on IR, which
crazy.
Who would have thought that going into the season? Definitely not me, considering I picked McCaffrey going 1-1 overall in our draft.
Sorry, 1-1ers.
But Saquon looked great. He's dual threat, can catch, can run, can block. I mean, absolute addition to this already great Philly offensive attack.
Yeah,
Jalen Hurts kind of looked a little rusty. He had some questionable throws, but at the end of the day, he winds up 278, 2 touchdowns. Did have 2 picks, but first game of the year, we'll in a wonky situation, we'll kind of give him a pass there. AJ Brown, Devontae Smith looked great.
Yeah. That Reed kid for Green Bay, bro, he looks legit.
Jalen Reed, yes.
Yeah, he's legit. That's a one.
Yeah, he's going to be I mean, Christian Watson was supposed to be their one, but now it looks like Jalen Reed is going to be the consistent number 1 target for Love or Malik Willis or whoever is going to be the quarterback. Does suck that, like you said, Love got hurt at the very end, like the very last, second to last or third to last play.
Third to last play, yeah.
But another situation where it just felt like Philly was in control of that game from kind of start to finish, and the Packers were playing catch up the whole time. I think the Packers will be fine, though. I think they're going to figure it out, and LaFleur. There's a lot of situations throughout the NFL that are like kind of similar to what's going on with the Packers. So it's another good game. I mean, hell, we had
2 for 2 off rip. Good NFL game
off rip, and then
roll into Sunday. You got your 1:00 slate. Falcons kick fest. What's going on? What was going on with
Kirk Cousins? Kirk Cousins not fully healthy.
Yeah, I don't think
coming off the Achilles. I mean, you could see it. You can see it.
Just, he wasn't driving at all. Like through his
throws. He doesn't trust that ankle yet.
Yeah,
I mean, you can tell he's kind of apprehensive about, like you said, driving off that leg and really using it like he was like pre-injury. I think that's pretty common of guys who come off the Achilles. I mean, you saw Aaron Rodgers, the same thing with Aaron Rodgers. I mean, especially being older,
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins isn't as old as Aaron Rodgers, but I mean, he is 30, going to be 36 this year, I think, or
Yeah.
37. So it's going to be a couple games probably before he finally has enough confidence to just let it rip,
Yeah.
like he did before he tore his Achilles. Uh, to be fair, TJ Watt probably the best defensive player in the league.
Oh yeah.
If he's not the best, he's definitely top three.
Yeah.
Uh, edge rusher. I mean, he's just a game wrecker. He was in our backfield the entire fucking game.
Yeah.
There was a couple. He got called for neutral zone infraction, and then they showed the replay,
And he was perfect.
Perfect. He was just so
Perfect.
quick that he confused, like he tricked the ref into
Yeah.
thinking that he left early. Whenever, really, he just timed it so perfect that it looked like he got off the line early. But
Yeah.
I mean, that's a great defense. Justin Fields did just enough to put them in field goal range. And shout out to Boswell, the kicker for
He had a hell of a game, bro.
Pittsburgh. I mean,
Yeah.
I think they said he was 1 yard short of all time
Yeah.
kicking yardage.
That's crazy.
So shout out to him. I mean, fuck.
Yeah. That Steelers defense is legit, bro.
Yeah, I mean they're going to be definitely top 5 defense in the league this year as long as they can stay healthy.
Yeah.
Like I said, TJ Watt is the heart and soul, I think, but they also have a lot of good guys in the back end and the secondary. We couldn't really find any separation. When I say we, I mean Atlanta. Bijan looked pretty good though. I will say there are some positives. Our defense looked great.
Yeah.
I thought
Kyle Pitts touchdown.
Kyle Pitts, coming along. Like I said, we said before the season, I think Kirk Cousins is going to look for Pitts to be a bigger part of this offense because he likes that tight end spot.
Yeah.
Would like to see a little bit more out of Drake London, but like I said, we'll see as the season progresses. I think we're going to be all right, though. We play in one of the not so good divisions in the league, so I think we'll be competitive. It's just going to take some time to put it all together. And one thing to note is that Kirk Cousins had no offensive snaps in the preseason, so this was really his first game speed reps with these guys. So I think it's gonna be a work in progress. But like I said, I do like some things that I saw out of Atlanta. Just gonna have to be patient,
Yeah, there's a lot of good 1 o'clock games. I know I was driving back to Chicago, just tuning in for most of the games. I thought the Cardinals were going to run away with their game. Bills find a way to kind of pull that one out behind Josh Allen. I think the Bills have kind of.
Josh Allen's a beast. I mean,
Josh Allen is him.
Just be honest. Josh Allen is a beast.
James Cook just looked really well in both games as well. He's really coming on as a running back one option. There was question marks. I felt like for so long, I felt like the Bills never had a running back that they could turn around, hand the ball off to, or dump a ball to. I mean, just yesterday, I know we'll talk about it later, but big, huge game yesterday basically propelled the Bills to, being 2-0 early on.
Titans,
Bears. That was another game too.
Titans shit the bed with a 17-point lead. Bears offense did literally nothing.
Zero.
They scored 0 points. They won on the back of their defense and special teams play. So, I mean, there's two ways to look at that. That's really bad, but it's also really good to know that your offense can do basically nothing and still secure a win. Will Levis, I don't know what the fuck he was thinking with that last pick six to get through. Literally just take the fucking sack and punt the ball at that point, He's still a young quarterback. I want to have faith in him because he is a Kentucky guy, but you gotta be smarter than that. I mean, even a fucking middle schooler knows that you can't do something that silly in that situation.
His first half was so flawless too. Like he played so good in that first half, but after that it was
that's what makes me think the Bears are going to be really good is because they have their defense just looked nasty. They did give up 17 points, but also scored, 2 touchdowns or whatever it was. So that was a good game. I really thought the Titans were going to come away with the win there, but like I said, Levis throws that dumb pick 6, and the rest is history. All right, moving on. Patriots Bengals. This was a upset for it was a hell of a week 1 for Patriots fans.
Yeah.
Bengals, I think, coming into this was 9.5-point favorite. End up losing 16-10 to the Patriots, who are projected to have five wins. I think
they're over under was 5.5.
Yeah, so not good if you're Joe B and the Bengals. I know you probably saw the video of him shaking his wrist and not being able to pick up
the water.
Yeah, that is very worrisome if I'm a Bengals fan.
I think it's a lot of speculation, but I mean, that's what the media does. Hopefully Burrow's okay. I think this is just kind of this falls back more so, I feel like, on the front office of the Bengals and Zach Taylor, because it's like, what is it? They're like 1-5
in the openers. Joe Burrow is 1-5 in season openers.
Yeah, like I know Burrow's going to catch the flack. Obviously, he's the quarterback, but like I feel like the front office always allowing some kind of distraction to happen, whether it's somebody needs paid or like the locker room's unsettled.
My thing is they've done absolutely nothing to improve their defense. I feel like they've been so focused on offense since the Super Bowl that they have totally let their defense kind of slide and fall to the wayside. They lost some key players defensively, I feel like, in the offseason. I know DJ Reader was they lost him in the offseason, and that was a big part of their interior, defensive line. So I mean, it's just gonna but we're used to the Bengals having a slow start.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens this coming up week. They play Kansas City, 5.5-point underdog, but not a good sign though if you're getting beat by the Patriots in week 1, especially by 6. Whenever you're a
rookie head coach and they're coming on the road into your house, it was just a bad look, and everybody that I know that is a Bengals fan is like, what the fuck, dude? Why are we doing this all over again? But it is what it is. Texans Colts, this was a banger. I know. This is going to be the future matchup to look at is Anthony Richardson, CJ Stroud. I mean, bombs left and right. Joe Mixon, former Bengal, 30 carries, 159 yards. Have a day.
Yeah, that is reminiscent of like the running back era of old, of like LaDainian Tomlinson, Eddie George, Jamal Lewis, Priest Holmes, guys who were literally, the most integral part of the game plan. I mean, 30 carries. When's the last time you saw somebody outside of Derrick Henry get 30 carries in a game? I mean, that's
think of anybody.
That's crazy. And I mean, on top of that, it's not like he ran for 30 carries less than 100 yards. He had almost 200 yards, 59 yards in a tutty. So I know you saw the clip of Anthony Richardson throwing that like fucking 70-yard bomb. Beautiful,
falling
perfect
down, like
perfect placement. He's a freak athlete.
Yeah,
I do think that there's still a lot of room for him to improve, though.
Yeah,
he's not a CJ Stroud. I feel like CJ Stroud is a lot more well polished.
Yeah.
Of course, he did have a whole year. I mean, Anthony Richardson only played 2 games last year, so it's going to take a minute for Anthony Richardson to come along. But I do think he has the intangibles to be a really good quarterback in this league. He's just going to have a learning curve. On the flip side, CJ Stroud, he's going to be a force in this league. Barring injury, barring controversy, scandal, he's going to be one of those guys in 5-10 years that we're going to look at and be like, damn, he's put together a really good portfolio. Yeah.
I think Diggs was a huge addition this offseason. Joe Mixon, huge addition. Then you still got Tank Dell and Nico Collins. And they're gross on defense, bro.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Texans have a really good thing going right now.
Yeah.
They're on the come up.
Yeah, good for the Texans. I think the Colts are in good position. They still got a really good squad. Don't know much to say about the Dolphins Jags game.
Jaguars meltdown.
Yeah.
Dolphins get lucky. Tyreek Hill gets fucking put on his face before the game. I guess we can just take a minute and talk about that for just a couple minutes. Not much to say about the game, really. I feel like the Jaguars took their foot off the pedal and allowed it kind of left room for the Dolphins to climb back into that game. They ended up hitting a last-second field goal to win. So really, the Dolphins got lucky, if you ask me. I mean, Jags should have won that game, but Tyreek Hill, we've all seen the video, we've all seen the footage. He gets pulled out of his car, thrown on the ground, handcuffed. We've seen the body cam. I don't know about you, but my takeaway is that, like I said before, we started recording, 2 wrongs don't make a right. There was, you got to look at it from both perspectives as far as Tyreek Hill and the police officers. Neither side was right in this situation. The cops, let's start with Tyreek Hill. He was speeding. He was going, from everything that I've read, that he was going 100 miles an hour or whatever in a crowded, congested area. Not okay. Let's just put that out there. He gets pulled over. Doesn't really comply with the officers. The officers want him to roll the window down. He doesn't roll the window down initially. Then he cracks it. Gives his license and registration, whatever, yada yada. Then he proceeds to roll the window back up, and that's really when the situation started to escalate, and that's when the cops started to get hostile.
Mm-hmm.
Then they ordered him to get out of the car. He ends up on the ground in handcuffs. And like I said, we've all seen the footage. I just think both people in this situation could have done better. Yeah. Tyreek could have done a lot better. If he just would have complied and listened and stayed calm instead of having this air of entitlement. And it was, football Sunday. He was going into work, but at the same time, you're not above the law.
Yeah.
If he would have stayed calm and listened to the cops, he probably would have got a ticket and been on his way, and there wouldn't have been this big, dramatic, escapade of, with everybody weighing in. And then at the same time, the cops, they have to be better at not escalating. And they have to, it's just, like I said, it could have been better on both sides. They were both in the wrong. I don't think either side was right. And like I said, 2 wrongs don't make a right. I'm not condemning either side, but I'm not going to say either side was right either in this situation. I feel like in today's modern day social climate, everybody's inclined to say fuck the cops and all this shit. And there are a lot of dirty cops out there, don't get me wrong, but there are good cops too. And I don't think necessarily these officers were trying to single him out and profile him in any type of way. He was just being, like I said, an entitled brat and acting like rules didn't apply to him. And if you follow Tyreek's career, he's always been that way. He's a diva wide receiver. He is. Yeah. Any way you look at it, he thinks that, I'm Tyreek Hill. I'm the fastest player in the NFL. Nobody can tell me what to do, blah, 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 blah. And it's just like, well, you have that attitude and you see where it gets you. So
I completely agree. I think both parties are at fault. This whole, I don't want to approach this. You're a man of color in a McLaren or Corvette? I couldn't tell what it was. speeding down a congested highway. Like, if there is injustice, you're just taking it and amplifying your odds by being a man of color, driving a sports car.
I don't even think it had anything to do with
I don't think so
the color
either.
of his skin.
That's
I think
what I'm saying.
It just had to be the fact that he just thought he didn't have to fucking listen to the cops.
That's what I'm saying. For the narrative purpose, I'm saying if there is that in this scenario, all you did was put yourself in a higher situation for that narrative to come out by being that person driving the car, going fast as shit down a congested highway. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it'd be like a person smoking weed and going to take a drug test. Like, you got high before the drug test, you're gonna fail. You know what I'm saying?
and then you get upset whenever you fail the drug test.
Like, I can't believe you guys are drug testing me right now. Like, what do you mean?
Like, when you came in smelling like fucking an ounce of the best cushion, fucking Miami. So it's like, it is what it is. I think we'll move past this quickly. I'm not gonna say he deserved it, but I mean, that's kind of what you get whenever you like act like you're better or act like you don't have to. The rules don't apply to you. Let's just put it that way. So it is what it is. Let's move on. Panthers, Saints. God, not much to say. Saints roll. Panthers suck. Fuck both these teams. They're in the NFC South. I don't even think
the Saints are good. I just think
the Panthers are that bad. I think the Panthers are that bad.
Yeah. Same with the next game too.
Vikings, Giants, Vikings. I actually think the Vikings might be pretty decent this year. Yeah. I think Sam Darnold is. I'm not gonna say he is like great. Yeah. But I feel like it's the coach putting him in positions to be successful. And I feel like I can't remember the Vikings coach's name. McConnell. Yes, McConnell. He is one of the better coaches in the league. Yeah. So I think they're not going to be as bad as people really expect. I think JJ McCarthy is good when he comes back. I figured he would come back this year, but I know he's already been rolled out for the whole season. They might as well I think he's going to end up being pretty good. Yeah, under this coach. And then you got the Giants. Daniel Jones, absolute garbage. They should probably look to trade him or move off of him this offseason. I don't know what you could get for him, especially with that contract. But he's not the answer.
Maybe send him to Miami.
That's true. Hey, GM JD Kozad right here.
If I'm the Giants, I'm calling, bro.
Put in a phone call just to see.
I'm just saying. Yeah, not much to say about the Giants either. They're purgatory.
Yeah, they're going to be very bad this year. Yeah. Then you got Raiders, Chargers. Good debut for Harbaugh. I thought. Coming out with a 22-10 victory over a division rival. At home, pretty good. I didn't get to watch a lot of this game, but apparently the Raiders kicked a punt with in their own territory or in opponent's territory.
Yeah. They basically could have kicked the field goal.
Yeah, I heard it was just very, very bad.
It was a bad showing.
Yeah, and I feel like that's just part of the growing pains of a rookie head coach. He'll be more aggressive in the future, especially after getting dragged this whole past week because of what he did.
Harbaugh, though, when I was watching this game, Harbaugh, dude, he just had a game plan and stuck to it, and he's putting the ball in their running backs' hands and just owning the clock, bro.
Harbaugh is a leader of men. Let's just go ahead and put that out there. He is a bona fide leader of men. He's done it on every level. Went to a Super Bowl with San Francisco, went to Michigan, won a national championship, comes back to the NFL now, and looks like he's right back on track to have the Chargers in contention for a playoff run this year. So
shout out my boy J.K. Dobbins. Everybody wrote him off, bro.
I feel like he might be a candidate for a comeback player of the year.
Everybody wrote him off. 10 carries, 135.
I don't know what. Yeah, that's awesome. That's 13.5 yards a
That's
carry
crazy, bro.
and a tutty. I don't know what the odds are for him for
Yeah.
comeback player, but that's definitely a
It's
good little
I might look
bet
into
to
that.
look into.
Coming back.
All right, then we had Broncos Seahawks. I don't have a lot on this game. Bo Nix could have been a lot better. Seahawks
Yeah.
defense stands up.
Yeah. It wasn't a pretty game at all.
No, and
No.
apparently Kenneth Walker had a pretty good game, 20 carries, 103 yards, and a touchdown. Seahawks didn't look great in the first half, but they come out and have a strong second half, end up securing the victory. I think Broncos will bounce back this week. I think Bo Nix will have a better showing, especially at home. Move on. Let's go Cowboys, Browns. Cowboys roll. Browns look awful.
Deshaun Watson, worst contract in football.
Deshaun Watson, might be the worst contract in NFL history. It just looks like he doesn't even care out there.
No.
I watched this game, Tom Brady's first broadcast. Tom Brady also a little shaky on the call, but he'll get better in time. Just got to give him some reps. It's his first time. I mean, everybody's nervous their first time. But yeah, Cowboys look good. I think they're gonna be good this year, man. Cowboys are gonna be a team to look out for. Just because, there's so much pressure there. Like Jerry Jones said in the offseason, he's all in. It's do or die for both the coach. The quarterback he's the highest paid player in NFL history. Whether you agree or disagree with that, it is what it is. So, I mean, there is a lot of pressure behind the Cowboys to perform. They have a good roster, offense, defense, special teams. I think they could be a contender in the NFC this year, honestly.
I think so, too.
They could be in the final, 3-4 teams to make it in the NFC.
I'd like to see them get tested, but obviously week one.
They will. They
looked fantastic. Didn't even look like they missed a beat with CD and Dak. And bringing back Zeke. Zeke looked like he fit right back in. Zeke looks like he's in great shape.
Brandon Cooks
looked awesome. Caught a touchdown. Cooks is very slept on as a receiver
he's bounced around a lot, but I feel like he fits in perfect. He's found a role with that offense, that Cowboys offense, and I think he's doing well. All right, Commanders, Buccaneers. Commanders 20, Buccaneers 37. Buccaneers looks great. Their offense, Baker Mayfield looks like this is his, breakout season to finally cement himself as a true top tier quarterback, 289 and 4 touchdowns. They did have some pretty big injuries though on the offensive line. Defense, they had some injuries as well in the secondary.
Mike Evans still looks like he's him.
Yeah, Mike Evans, Hall of Famer, no doubt. Yeah. Chris Godwin, 8 receptions, 83 yards, and a touchdown.
Jaden Daniels looked pretty good.
Yeah, I feel like
they're going to get him killed, though.
He's going to learn, though. It's going to be growing pains, but I feel like he's going to learn. Either he's going to learn or he's going to wind up like Tua, where he's not going to have a very long career because he's not protected himself.
Yeah.
But we'll get to Tua here in a minute. I think Jaden Daniels probably looked the best out of any rookie quarterback this first week. But I think the Commanders they're going to struggle this year.
Yeah, they don't have much going for them.
Their defense is trash. Jaden Daniels really doesn't have any real true dangerous weapons. So it's going to be a kind of a growing pains for him. But Buccaneers looked good. All right, Rams, Lions. This was Sunday night game. Rams 20, Lions 26. Yeah, I watched this whole game.
Yeah.
Rams pick up right where they left off. They look like a well-oiled machine. The Rams, they looked good too. I mean, you gotta give them their props, especially when losing a player like Aaron Donald, bona fide Hall of Famer, possibly one of the best players in the last 10, 15 years on the defensive side of the ball. Matt Stafford goes for 317, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He looked great. They did lose Puka Nacua, and they lost some offensive linemen.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be a uphill battle for the Rams. moving forward. They're going to have to get healthy.
It's nothing Stafford's not seen, though.
Nothing that Stafford's not used to, nothing that McVay's not used to.
Yeah.
They're going to find.
They'll be fine.
Yeah, they're going to find ways to
Yeah.
switch it up and be successful. Lions win in overtime. David Montgomery run right through a motherfucker's face. That was their offense. Run right through a motherfucker's face.
Good for David Montgomery, bro. I think people gave him such a write-off this year. They were like planning on Gibbs really taking over that one role, and Montgomery's like, the fuck he will. Give me this ball.
Jameson Williams had a breakout game. 5 receptions, 121 yards, and a touchdown. He was a huge part of the Lions offense. Amon-Ra St. Brown. If I'm a betting man, and I am, I'm looking for him to have a huge bounce back week this week. I'm betting over reception yards, over receptions, and probably anytime touchdown for him. Just because, he's the type. He keeps a chip on his shoulder, and when he doesn't perform, he's going to come back even stronger. So I look for him to have a good week this week.
Yeah.
Lions are a 7.5-point favorite at home versus the Buccaneers. We'll get to that here in a minute. All right, last game of the slate, we got New York Jets at 49ers. 49ers roll 32-19. McCaffrey was a late scratch. Nobody really saw it coming. But like we talked about, Jordan Mason come in and literally didn't miss a beat. That offense didn't miss a beat. 28 carries, 147 yards, and a touchdown. Basically carried me to a fantasy win.
Yeah.
I didn't have him on my team until literally 30 minutes before the game started. Because I was like, damn, McCaffrey. JD texted me and said McCaffrey's out. And I was like, oh, fuck. And so I go to the waiver wire, and there's Jordan Mason. I was like, I've never heard of this cat before, but fuck it. He's going to be the starter. Let's pick him up. And he ends up having a career game. Brock Purdy, 231 yards. No touchdowns, no interceptions. So kind of a game manager role.
Yeah. Aaron Rodgers looked old, bro.
Yes, Aaron Rodgers looked old. He's not confident. He's like we talked about earlier with Kirk Cousins. He's not confident in that Achilles. It's gonna, like I said, it's gonna be a couple weeks for him to really get that confidence back and be able to really drive through his throws and drive the ball downfield. I feel like even though he is a great off-platform thrower, I mean, he's 40. Pushing 41 years old. At some point, you're going to have to. I mean, look at Peyton Manning and Tom Brady later in their career. They had to kind of change the way they played. I mean, it doesn't matter how good you are. Eventually, you're going to have to switch it up. So I think the Jets they'll bounce back, and I think they'll be. I don't think they'll be in contention for the division. I think this is the Bills' division, but I do think they could be a sneaky wild card team.
Aaron's arm talent is still very much there. It was there,
and they have a solid.
Yeah,
they have talent around him. Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson,
Alan Lazard had a good game.
Alan Lazard. Their defense is still pretty solid. So 49ers look like far and away probably. They haven't missed a beat either. So you got the Kansas City in the AFC and Niners in the NFC. Yeah, haven't missed a beat.
Didn't.
So, that's week one.
It's a hell of a week one.
Before we get into week two, let me take a pee real quick.
Yeah, go take a leak. I'll read an advertisement here. This advertisement is brought to you by. No, I'm just kidding. Hell of a week one though. Enjoyed myself. Spent, I don't even know, too many hours. The office meme that's going around right now. It's like Kevin walking into the elevator and he's like, "Hey Kevin, how was your weekend?" And the writing says, "Good. I spent 15 hours watching football." It's like, I probably spent more than 15 hours watching football. Starting Thursday, watched Thursday night game, Friday night game. Watched Saturday college football, basically all Saturday. Even at the wedding, was watching college football. Then Sunday, you got literally all day, 1 o'clock till damn near midnight. And then you got the Monday night game. I was at work watching it, so I feel like I watched minute of football, and it felt so right. It felt so good. It felt like I was home. Good times, happy times, very nice. But glad to be recording, bringing you guys some content for y'all to easily digest. We do have week 2. Week 2 NFL football has started yesterday. Today's Friday, so yesterday we had Bills, Dolphins, and I think the easiest thing to say is, Bills literally run away with the game. James Cook, huge game, 3 touchdowns. A-Chain looked good on the other side, but the conversation of this game was definitely the Tua getting hit, diving head first. You brought up a fair point too before we started the podcast in saying, it's like a fighter who's been knocked out one too many times. He's got a soft chin now. I think that's a very valid point. Like he's basically got an off switch underneath that helmet, this might be good promotion for those Guardian caps. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like at the very least they have to hold him out for the rest of this year.
Yeah,
like you pretty much have to chalk this year if you're anybody in Tua's camp. I feel like you have to go to him and be like, look, man, you gotta take it easy. You gotta take your time, man. You just got this huge contract. You're financially taken care of. If you really, really want to go back and play football, you need to take the rest of this year off and let your body and your brain heal. And just man, it sucks because he was trying to make a play for his team, and he did. It was 4th and goal, or 4th and whatever. It was a 4th down, and he ran up the middle, and yeah, he probably should have slid, but he decided to go head first and make sure he got the first down, and it ends up making contact with, of all people, DeMar Hamlin, and he gets knocked out. Basically, I mean, we all saw his hands and his fingers. We've seen it before with Tua, and like I said, I feel like it's just a case of him having kind of a soft noggin, and he just got hit in a certain way, and it lights went out. But yeah, it's sad to see, and you hate to see it. But also, like I said before, podcasts, I feel like probably there's been guys that have had worse concussions, more concussions, and we just never noticed because he's not $200 million, $100 million, $200 million player, quarterback, franchise quarterback. So he's not in the limelight as much. So we just kind of never noticed. But I think as far as the question of should Tua retire, you have to leave it up to Tua. That's a personal decision. I don't know. Even before the concussion, though, I mean, he looked awful.
Yeah, he did not look good.
I mean, 3 interceptions before he even got the concussion, and he did not look good at all. So
it was the worst game of his career, no doubt.
Yeah, and it was against a division rival. So if you can't beat the Bills, at what point do you decide if you're the? And I know they just paid him a lot of money, but at what point, if you're the Dolphins, do you say, "Hey, we got to move on"? I mean, that's the thing about these fucking quarterbacks, man. Is like it's like the Daniel Jones situation. Like he's not the best quarterback, but you got to pay him, or you're left in purgatory where like you're in between, and you're starting Tommy DeVito, or fucking Tyrod Taylor, and it's like, it's just hard. It's a hard spot for these GMs to really make a fair decision on who's worth it. And now Tua may not ever play another snap of football. Yeah. And so it's a very tricky situation. Main takeaway, the Bills looked fucking incredible. Yeah. James Cook looked incredible. Josh Allen, incredible. He's I put him probably second among quarterbacks as far as value. Just behind Mahomes. Probably goes Mahomes, Allen, and Lamar.
Yeah.
Probably my top 3 right now.
Yeah. It's tight. Josh Allen just adds he's like Mahomes is like the best quarterback. Josh Allen might be the best football player playing quarterback. I don't know how to describe
He's
it.
definitely a dual threat.
Yeah, like
He's definitely a dual threat.
He adds a dynamic that
Mahomes really isn't as dual as. I mean, he can make plays with his legs, but he would much rather throw the ball.
Yeah.
Josh Allen, he's not afraid to put his shoulder down and just fucking run through somebody.
Run through a motherfucker face. Yeah. Bills look good. Dolphins, if you, like I said, if you're smart, need to be getting on the phone. You're left with, like, I know we said Ryan Tannehill's name. I doubt you could pull in a retired guy. You're not getting Tom Brady to come out the booth. He's got too much money in that. I don't think. I mean, it'd be a crazy story and probably the perfect kind of setting for a Tom Brady if he would ever want to return. They got a hell of offensive weapons. I mean, even that rookie Jalen Wright looked like he was solid, but I don't know. We'll see what the Dolphins do because Tua, like you said, the people in his circle need to come to him and be like, dude, please, we're not trying to have you die on the football field.
It's not worth it. But at the end of the day,
it is his decision. Yeah.
It's you gotta, if he wants to make the choice to go out on his shield, then gotta respect it. You know.
Yeah. All right. What highlighted games are you looking forward to for the weekend? We'll roll that.
All right, I'll tell you. I bet 5 games this week.
Okay.
I've got Cowboys plus -6.5 versus the Saints. I think the Cowboys beat up on bad teams at home.
Yeah.
I think Dak is going to continue to roll. I think that offense is going to continue to roll. This Derek Carr really does not do well against pressure, and I feel like the Cowboys defense, that's one of their biggest strong points, is putting pressure on the quarterback. So I looked for Dallas to cover that spread. Then let's see, I've got Titans plus 3.5 at home against the Jets. I feel like the Jets is a short week for them. They got the Jets defense was basically on the field the entire game against San Francisco. I look for Will Levis to make a bounce back. I feel like he's not going to make those silly mistakes that he did against Chicago. The Titans defense looked really good against the Bears in week 1. I just think 3.5 is kind of I like the hook there. If it was 3, I might take the Jets, but I like 3.5 with the Titans. They only have to cover 3.5. So, I like that game. And let's see. I like
the Colts -3 if Malik Willis is starting.
See, I've been hearing a lot about taking the Packers +3. I don't know.
Josh Jacobs is out too.
He's out. He's not playing? Oh, man.
He was limited in practice today. They were trying to see if he was going to play.
I feel like he'll play.
Yeah. If he plays, it'll be close.
I don't know. I took Packers +3.
Yeah.
But I totally get it, though. I mean, I'm not confident in Malik Willis. I just think that the Packers have a good enough roster to kind of overcome Malik Willis's weaknesses. I think Matt LaFleur is able to game plan. I think he's a good enough coach to game plan around Malik Willis. And I feel like there's just too many questions on that Colts defense.
Yeah.
They gave up a lot of rush yards, and that's really what the Packers are going to want to do. Considering Jordan Love's probably not going to play for the next 4 weeks, they're going to buff up their rushing attack. So I feel like Packers +3 might be the move. I totally get your argument though for Colts -3.
San Fran only 4.5-point favorites over the Vikings.
Yeah, that's gone down. They opened, I think, as 6.5-point favorites, and that's gone down. So that's something I've really enjoyed this year. Being that last year was like my first real uh like season of betting to
Yeah.
where I've got that I've got a little bit more experience now, so now I can kind of pay attention to the market and kind of judge where the money's coming in on each team and on the lines and stuff. And so yeah, there's been a lot of money coming in on the Vikings uh at home, you
Yeah.
know. Uh 49ers short week. They no McCaffrey, which I know Mason, like I said, he filled in perfectly for him last week. But now Vikings have had a whole week to game plan and kind of, prepare themselves for that.
Yeah.
Uh yeah, I don't know. I don't really have a read on this game. I'm inclined if it was I think if it was 6.5 or 5.5, I'm probably taking the Niners, but at 4.5, I feel like the Vikings can probably cover that. Plus 4.5. Uh yeah. I
Four
don't
and a
know.
half is tight. 4.5 is tight. I would say, which I'll go ahead and be. I'm gonna say my best bet. I think I like Colts -3 the most here, especially without indication of.
I mean, if they're out Josh Jacobs too,
Yeah.
then yeah, for sure,
Yeah.
that's a great bet.
I'm gonna take Colts -3. I got that there.
All right.
And I also picked my TD for whenever we're ready.
Um, let's see. I don't like Browns Jaguars. I feel like it's a terrible game to bet on. Rams
Yeah.
Cardinals. I want to stay away from that.
Yeah.
Bengals Chiefs. Bengals are 6-point underdog. I'm inclined to take Cincinnati here just because the Chiefs are not great. Or the Chiefs, I say the Chiefs. Mahomes are not great at. I feel like I heard somewhere that as a favorite, he's under 50% as a favorite of more than three or more points. Um, let's see, Bears Texans -6.5. I'm taking Houston there.
Yeah.
At home. Then you got Falcons, Philly. Philly are a 6.5 point favorite. I'm probably going to take the Falcons there. I think Philly wins that game, but I think the Falcons can cover.
Yeah, I think
I
so
think they can
too.
cover, at least a field goal, maybe
Yeah.
5 points, 6 points. We'll see. My best bet though, I'm probably going to go Dallas -6 at home versus the Saints. That's my best bet of the
I
week.
like that one too. I think Dallas will handle business, and if they don't, there's going to be a lot. There's going to be a lot of talk in Dallas if they can't handle
I
something like
mean,
that.
the Saints, it's just overreaction
Yeah.
because they rolled against the Panthers, but like we said, it's the fucking Panthers, man. They
Yeah.
suck. They put up 47, sure, but I mean,
Yeah.
that means fuck all in the grand scheme of things. Look at what the Cowboys did against a defense, Cleveland's defense that was the number 1 rated defense in the league
Yeah.
last year. So,
Yeah. I think they'll be plenty fine. Who would you put as your anytime touchdown?
my anytime touchdown, I'm going to go. Man, there's a lot of good options out there.
Yeah.
I
I'll
want
give
to
you mine.
go. Okay, go ahead.
I'll give you mine. I'm gonna do Pacheco anytime touchdown because the Bengals can't stop a fucking nosebleed. They let Ramondre Stevenson run all over them.
It's a good pick.
Pacheco, yeah, Pacheco's he's gonna have at least one. I would reckon Pacheco at minimum will break. He's breaking 50. I feel like
I really
maybe even
want to.
75.
I really want to go. I mean, there's so many fucking good options to go choose
There
from.
is some good ones.
I really want to. I mean, that Falcons Eagles game. I want to pick either running back,
Yeah,
Bijan or Saquon. I'm inclined to
yeah,
take, but I think I'm going to go with the guy I mentioned earlier. I think I'm going to go Amon-Ra St. Brown
I
anytime
like St.
touchdown
Brown.
against the Buccaneers. Like I said, they are kind of light in secondary. The Buccaneers are after
Yeah,
the week 1. They've had some injuries. Having to bring guys in from free agency, so I feel like Amon-Ra and the Lions are going to come with a game plan to get him involved early and often, and I look for him to have a huge game. So I'm going to take him anytime touchdown. Bet it. Let us know how. We'll see how it goes. I feel like that's pretty solid though. Pacheco is always always a good option for anytime touchdown. They love to get him the ball in that Chiefs offense.
And I was looking for what it would be
Odds wise,
anytime. Pacheco's 145. Now let's go over to St. Brown. Touchdown score 120. If you put shoot. $5 flips into 15, $10 flips into 30.
what is that?
30,
Plus 300?
209.
Plus 209.
Yep. I've got a no sweat, so I'm gonna put it on there. $209. Lock it in. I'm locked in. It's $130. Ride with us. I'm gonna put $5 on the Colts -3.
Yeah, I've already put in on all my bets for the weekend. I try to put mine in kind of early. That way we get the best of the number.
Yeah, the lines don't move as much.
Yeah, because they move a lot come Friday, Saturday. But the NFL games, college games, Thursday, Friday, they move a lot. Saturday morning, they move a lot. So
Yeah.
it's best to get in early if you want to get the best of the number. I want to. My goal is to like be able to like make $300 to $400 a month doing this. That would be awesome. But I can't. But I mean, football season is only so long, and I don't like betting on other sports, so I just try to do it mainly on football, just because
there's so much to keep up with in other sports.
Yeah, I made a little bit on basketball in the playoffs last year with the Lakers and the Nuggets. I made a little bit on the Diamondbacks and the Dodgers last year, as far as baseball goes. But I really don't bet on regular season basketball or baseball. I try to wait until the playoffs to start putting money on that. But football, I'll bet on that all fucking regular season, postseason, doesn't matter.
Preseason, then.
I mean, I'm not going to bet on the preseason. Even though I did bet on the Hall of Fame game. I'm not going to lie, I did bet on the Hall of Fame game.
Yeah.
But
I did just look up J.K. Dobbins opened the year at plus 6,000 for comeback player of the year.
Dude, put something down on that, because I'm telling you, he's going to be there in the end of the year.
Well,
he might not win.
It's down to plus 1,200. That's the best odds you can get on the market.
So it went from 6,000 to 1,200.
Yeah.
After one game.
So
yeah.
His offensive player of the year is plus 20,000.
I don't think he's going to win that.
No.
But comeback player of the year, that's definitely wide open for him.
I think I'm going to put some there. I'm trying to look at other DraftKings is plus 1,200. Not available on a lot of them. Not a lot of betting sites do the awards, but good episode. I feel like that was a good episode. Rolling, got a big weekend of football coming up. I don't know. What's the big? I was just Kansas State's rolling away. College football.
Fuck me. My parlay's busted. I didn't see what the final score of the Kansas game was, but But fuck it. I mean, it doesn't matter because Arizona's getting their ass busted right now. Anything on college ball you want to mention? Kentucky fucking sucks. I hate Mark Stoops. Fucking fire him right now. Scrap all of it. And let's just restart. We're not competitive in the SEC. South Carolina's trash, and they fucking steamrolled us at home.
Yep.
Fuck off.
Yep. Why don't y'all use the damn quarterback y'all paid so much fucking money to go get?
Or we don't have an offensive line. Our offensive line's trash.
You guys are great at running the ball. Your offensive line is great for run block.
But they can't pass. They can't pass.
It makes no sense, bro. Just fucking sit your ass down and don't let the guy come through.
It's gonna be a bloodbath tomorrow.
Georgia's
gonna roll us. That was one of my picks in our college football pick'ems with Houston. I picked Georgia -22 over Kentucky.
I mean, it's easy. I feel like that's just fucking easy money at this point.
Yeah.
Down goes Michigan. RIP Michigan. You guys had a generational run. Time for you to fade back into darkness.
We need next time we record. We need to talk about. Have you seen that documentary?
The Connor Stallions
Sign Stealer on Netflix. Yeah. Have you seen it?
Yeah, bro's a professional sign stealer, bro. Dude's like,
I honestly don't think he did anything wrong. I don't think so
either.
I don't think he did.
I never really did say that he did anything wrong. We'll have to dive into that.
That's something coming from an Ohio State fan. I'll just say that. But
I think it's what everybody's.
The boy was dedicated. Let's just put it like that.
He loves Michigan. I'll say that.
Oh yeah.
He loves sign stealing. All right, folks. We're hopping off here. Ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Probably forgetting something else. Tell somebody about us. We love you guys. Appreciate you guys. Peace.